Welcome to Math Made Easy. All right, let's jump right in with a bit of a puzzle for you. What in the world could possibly connect a trailblazing female mathematician from the 1800s, a Nobel Prize-winning chemist from our own century, and the guy who actually gave us the word matrix? Go on, take a guess. The connection isn't some super complex theorem or an obscure formula.
Nope, it's something way simpler and honestly a lot more surprising. It all comes down to a single date.
That's right. Today, we're diving into the very curious case of March 15th. It's a date that has this strange, powerful connection to some of history's greatest minds. And we're going to start with a true pioneer, someone who absolutely shattered expectations.
Greece Chisholm Young was born on March 15, 1868. Now you gotta remember, this was a time when academia was basically a boys' club. For her to follow her passion, she had to go all the way to a German university. And this quote here from one of her letters, it just says it all. The great Professor Felix Klein wouldn't even consider letting a woman in unless she was already proven to be brilliant. The bar wasn't just high, it was on a whole different level.
And oh, did she have proof. Her entire journey was just a masterclass in not giving up. First, she gets a top-tier degree at Cambridge. Then, get this, she unofficially takes the Oxford final exams and beats all the male students, but was still forbidden from actually getting a degree. Why? Simply because she was a woman. So what did she do? She went to Germany and became the first woman to earn a doctorate in any subject from the prestigious Goethe University. Just incredible. And she didn't stop there. She co-authored over 220 mathematical articles, mostly with her husband, William. But this is where the story gets really complicated. This quote from a letter he wrote to her is so revealing. It basically says, "I get the credit and the knowledge. You only get the knowledge." He knew she was the engine behind so much of their work, the one with the formal research training, but publicly it was a different story. Now, let's switch gears to another story, also connected to March 15th. On this very day, in 1897, the world lost a mathematical giant who also fought his own battles with the establishment, James Joseph Sylvester. Sylvester was, no question, one of the most brilliant mathematicians of his time. He placed second in the Cambridge math exam, which was famously brutal. But he was denied his degree, for one reason and one reason only. See, to graduate, you had to swear an oath to the Church of England. As a Jewish man, Sylvester refused, and just like that, no degree, no chance at a fellowship. And not early rejection, well, it pretty much set the tone for a long, tough career. This timeline really lays out the struggle. Denied his degree, had to quit a job in the US because he got zero support. Passed over for other positions. It took 40 years before he finally found a stable academic home at Johns Hopkins University, a place where his genius could finally, truly shine. But here's the amazing thing. Despite all those hardships, his impact was monumental, a true giant. He and his buddy Arthur Cayley pretty much invented matrix theory. He came up with the term discriminant, made huge advances in the theory of invariants. He even founded the very first math research journal in America. He was just this fiery, passionate, word-inventing force of nature. Okay, so we've got a trailblazer, an outcast. Now for our next March 15th birthday, let's add an inventor to the list. And this is the guy who claimed he wasn't even a mathematician, but whose inventions literally changed our understanding of physics. Charles Boyce was born on March 15th, 1855. He was an English physicist and a total master when it came to experiments. I mean, the man taught himself calculus from a book, but his real genius was in his hands. He had this incredible knack for building things that could measure the unmeasurable and see the invisible. And the stuff he came up with, it was just incredible. He invented these fused quartz fibers, so thin and so strong that he could use them to make the most accurate measurement of the gravitational constant, g, of his era. He was one of the first people to take high-speed photos of things like bullets and lightning. He even invented a kind of mechanical computer, an integraph, that could draw the integral of a function for you. How cool is that? So we've got a trailblazer, an outcast, and an inventor, all connected by this one day, March 15th. But believe it or not, we are just scratching the surface. As we look even closer at this date, a truly stunning pattern starts to appear. For instance, on March 15th, 1900, Elwin Christoffel passed away.
Now, his name might not be famous, but his work is absolutely fundamental. His Christoffel symbols became a key part of the math, the tensor calculus that Albert Einstein used to build his theory of general relativity. To put it simply, without Christoffel's work, Einstein's masterpiece wouldn't have had its mathematical language.
Now let's jump to March 15th, 1960. On that day, we lost Eduard Cech, a giant in the field of topology. That's the study of the fundamental properties of shapes and spaces. The ideas he came up with are still totally central to how mathematicians understand geometry today. And then, on March 15, 2004, the world lost Sir John Pople. He was a chemist who won a Nobel Prize because his computer program, called Gaussian, completely changed the game. It allowed scientists to study molecules on a computer for the first time. Think about what that means for everything from designing new medicines to understanding the hole in the ozone layer. His work was a total revolution. So when you actually lay it all out side by side, it's just wild. The amount of genius connected to this one single date is truly remarkable. Look at this list: births and deaths of pioneers across math, physics, chemistry. We even have a living legend on here, Jacob Pallas Jr., a leading expert in dynamical systems. That's the math that helps us understand things that change over time, like the weather. It's an extraordinary club to be in. So, what do we make of all this? Is it just a massive coincidence, a fun little piece of trivia, and nothing more?
Maybe. Or maybe, just maybe, it's a prompt, a little nudge from the universe to look closer at the human side of science. It's this shared timeline of struggle, of incredible discovery, and of pure brilliance that every once in a while lines up in the most curious ways. It reminds us that behind every equation and every experiment, there's always a human story.
Please like, subscribe, Math Made Easy Show.